The tornadoes that left a path of destruction across Kentuckiana Tuesday.
The National Weather Service will try to determine if the Jeffersonville tornado that crossed the Ohio River into Prospect was the same one impacting Henry County. Already, we know the tornado that crossed the East End Bridge and hit this riverfront community you're seeing, it's Beachland Beach, was more powerful than originally thought. The NWS has upgraded it to an EF2 there in Prospect with winds up to 120 miles per hour. They say it actually grew in strength as it crossed the Ohio. One homeowner in Beachland Beach told us he took cover in his basement right before a large oak tree crashed into his home.
I was sitting right next to that end table. That's where I was sitting at. 10 seconds later, I was 3 steps down in the basement and that tree fell. Open up the basement window, tear it out in order to get me out of the basement. And I had no way to get out of there other than that.
John Gordon with the National Weather Service says his crews will start their work today in Henry County.
And homeowners that are trying to start the rebuilding effort are being flooded with calls from prospective contractors. But public officials are warning of scammers. WHAS11's Connor Stephan and photojournalist Aspen Hester talked to one local contractor who has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, who has some advice on how to avoid being scammed.
I feel like a lot of bad actors in the industry, they'll use the urgency to make you sign different contracts, whether they want to use them or not. You're locked in with this contractor.
Ryan Jackson with Louisville Roofing says those bad actors make up a small portion of his industry, maybe 10 to 15%.
It's very angry and frustrated, honestly. That's what like I told you before, I swore to myself I would never do that.
The issue is a personal one for Jackson. After his experience in the aftermath of the 2012 Henryville tornado.
Power lines on the road, fire trucks everywhere, grapefruit-sized hail in the road, and people are already knocking on doors and dropping door hangers.
Now working in one of the hardest hit neighborhoods in Buckner, he's noticed an uptick in opportunistic service.
And while working on this project, we've seen wrap trucks, full logos drive by the men we don't know, like roofing companies we're unaware of, which is pretty rare for us.
Come to Jeffersonville right now, you will see a lot of these. The mayor says it's to keep the wrong people out.
I want to protect people from a lot of the contractors that show up all of a sudden from out of state.
Moore says contractors from Ohio, West Virginia, and Tennessee have all flocked to his city looking for work.
If they're asking for money down, be very wary.
Back in Buckner, Jackson says don't trust contractors who are willing to forgive your insurance deductible.
And in the state of Kentucky, currently, it's a state felony to forgive it.
He also says to check if the contractors have general liability and workers' comp insurance.
They expose you to risk by doing your house if they don't have that.
Reporting from Jeffersonville, Indiana and Buckner, Kentucky, Connor Stephan, WHAS 11 on your side.
The LMPD also posted a warning on social media reminding you to be cautious of scammers. The department recommends you get multiple estimates for work on your homes, demand references, and never let contractors pressure you into hiring them.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says the National Weather Service confirmed 11 tornadoes in various parts of the state on Tuesday. He also said some state roads are partially or completely blocked as crews work to clear debris and restore power, including Kentucky Highway 393 in Oldham County. Following the storm, the governor is also criticizing a big change made by Kentucky Republicans to how quickly a governor can spend on future disasters. A provision in the Republican-backed budget bill would only allow the governor's office to spend $25 million in immediate response to emergencies per year. Once that's reached, the governor would have to ask lawmakers for more immediate funding, which could require a special session. Beshear said he would line item veto, to partial veto that provision. He did appear to be willing, though, to compromise.
We would have exceeded the cap that they are setting in the first 3 to 4 months of this fiscal year. In just 3 to 4 months, we'd be out of money. But if they are going to set a limit, then it's got to be higher, because I think each of the last 3 fiscal years we would have exceeded it.
In a statement, Senate President Republican Robert Stivers said if an emergency is so significant it requires more money, the cap allows the governor to call lawmakers into a special session. Stivers also said the cap was put in place because, according to him, it's the legislature's responsibility to decide how money is spent in Kentucky. We have had teams out covering Tuesday's tornadoes all week long. You can see more about the impact on Prospect, Kentucky by visiting WHAS11.com or downloading our free app.
6 minutes after 6 on this Friday, and today's the day the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport will launch its brand new Welcome Center. It's the first of its kind at the airport. Crews at the Welcome Center will greet people, help navigate Derby City's hotels, attractions, and of course, bourbon and bourbonism. There's a ribbon cutting ceremony this morning at 11:30 to celebrate this new addition to our airport.